CrossFire was kind of something that the fans made happen. Back in November 2010 was supposed to be the last ever show at the Nashville Fairgrounds. They were closing the building down, they were demolishing it, getting rid of it all. They decided there was a company in there that ran a show there, did decent, but they didn't really give that tribute to all the legends. Everyone that's been anywhere, most of them came through Nashville, through that Memphis area. And they decided they were keeping the fairgrounds up until May of 2011. So I took the opportunity and the ball and said, let's do one tribute to give tribute to that. And the main event for that was the guys that made Memphis famous. Jerry the King Lawler and Superstar Bill Dundee. Had Dutch Mantel involved there. You know, brought in Doug Gilbert, all these guys. And the press of closing the fairgrounds thing was so amazing, and every news station jumped on board and stuff. We packed out that crowd, standing around, the biggest crowd they've seen in over a decade ago, a 1707 paying fans for an independent wrestling event. Was out of this world. And with that, you know, they kept the fairgrounds open, and it was open with that stuff. So with the fans wanting their wrestling back, because they got that itch that they haven't seen for so many years here, we decided to keep it going. You know, a gentleman by the name of Hammerjack and I, who helps him out a lot, we're sitting down and talking about that stuff in the midst of, you know, when you do shows and companies and stuff, everyone, you know, is always wanting to do their own thing and stuff like that. So you're in the midst of a battlefield. We're thinking of that and picturing soldiers and stuff like that. And with that, you're in the midst of a crossfire.
Just got to think back just to the history of that building alone. Nick Gulas, the building was built there just for wrestling. It's called the Sports Arena for a reason. Nick Gulas was the big time promoter back in the territorial days before there was a WWF. When you really think about it and you really talk to a true fan of wrestling, it's not about today. They don't talk about today's wrestling. They talk about when they were kids and how their grandparents or their dad would take them to the live events, and they got to reach out and touch that wrestler. And they tell you those stories because that's something that's true to their heart. I think we've got away from that over time. You know, I've been in this 16 years, and I've seen trial and error. I've seen, you know, things work and things not work many times over. I was not a wrestling fan growing up. My dad would make me sit down and watch the old USWA shows and things like that. Whenever they come to town, he would make me get in the car and I would have to go down there and watch, but I wasn't a grown wrestling fan. But what had happened is wrestling grabbed me. I didn't grab wrestling. 16 years ago, I fought in an MMA fight in St. Louis, Missouri. Dan Severns was the UFC champion at the time, and he was on the show. He stayed and watched, I stayed and watched his match, more or less. He grabbed a hold of me after that and told me I needed to become a professional wrestler. I asked him how I did that, why I should do that. He explained everything to me. Made a phone call that night and ended up being Tracy Smothers. Tracy had trained me the basics of wrestling, and then he passed me on to Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect had just got let go from the WWE, WCW at the time. WCW had just closed down, and I jumped in the car with Kurt Hennig and traveled the road with him for right about a year, and he introduced me to Ricky Steamboat, and that right there is where my tag team career took off. So what we've done with CrossFire is we brought a friend, family oriented show to where even the Make-A-Wish Foundation found us and jumped aboard, and now we're co-promoting with the Make-A-Wish and making dreams come true with little kids. We're reaching out to all the children, just like Hulk Hogan did 20 years ago to us when we were children. We're reaching out to them and we're helping them as he helped us. Everybody today, Hulk Hogan still, he's a name product. It doesn't matter what house you're in. You don't have to be a wrestling fan. You know who Hulk Hogan is. Well, we want everybody to know what CrossFire is.
Everyone used to be a wrestling fan back in the day. And they may lie and say, no, everyone used to. Doesn't matter if it was 80s, 90s stuff, but when wrestling took the turn, you lost millions of fans that, not fans that now, MMA has taken a lot of that fan base away, but you give them something that they asked for. Everyone always will tell you, man, I remember wrestling when it was this. The key word was, remember when it was this. The key line there. Why not give it to them?
You should come out August 4th, CrossFire, Nashville Fairgrounds. You're going to see all the athletes of yesterday, all the new ones of today, and you're going to get to reach out and touch us. You're going to get to talk to us. You're going to get to get personal with us. We take time out of our busy schedule to sit down with each and every fan and answer any questions that you have. Just sit around and joke and tell stories and just have a good time. And that's what makes us special.